Hello and welcome back to another great segment with Richard Williams, moi, yours truly, talking about asset protection. Listen, I want to talk very briefly about choosing a beneficiary. So when you buy life insurance, you're going to need to have a beneficiary. A beneficiary is the person or persons or organizations that you're going to give an inheritance to once you pass away. It could be more than one child. You could have one child. Or it could be a combination of children and a nonprofit organization, let's say a church. Or maybe you have some organizations that you've been given to or you want to leave some money to for research, cancer, HIV and AIDS, homelessness, stem cell studies, whatever it could be, whatever it is dear to your heart. That's what this is all about. Beneficiary is all about the heart. But there are a few things that you need to know before you want to consider before you pick your beneficiary. One of the first things you want to pick is who is dependable. Some people you ask them to do things and they say, I'm going to do it, and then they don't show up. So do you want to have someone like that and you're not alive anymore and you can't go back behind them? So I recommend that you get someone who is dependable. Also, how old is this individual? Are they of age? You have a 9-year-old and a 13-year-old. Do you want those to be the beneficiaries right away? Probably not. You give an 18-year-old or someone that's 18 or 20 years old or younger that type of money, let's say if it's $100 death benefit, guess what they're going to do with that money? They're going to go out on the town and they're going to waste that money doing things that they shouldn't be doing or things that are going to be counterproductive towards them being able to make it in life with that money that you left for them. The next thing that you need to consider is, do you trust that individual? Who do you trust? They may be old enough, but do you trust them? They may be dependable, but do you trust them to do the right thing when you are no longer able to speak for yourself? You might trust them to keep your children, babysit your children. You may trust them to sit at home with an aging parent. You may even trust them to come into your house, to clean your house, or come in your house for whatever reason. They come in your home when you're not there. You may trust them with your automobile. But do you trust them to get things done in your absence? That's the thing. The next thing it comes to is, do they have knowledge, any basic financial knowledge? I believe that if a person has some knowledge of the stock market, if they have some knowledge about inflation, if they have some knowledge about compound interest, residual income, if they understand that, things like infinite banking, then that may be, if all of these, at least all four of these need to line up. And of course, when we talk about age, for example, if you have someone, let's say you have a grandparent and you are 50 years old and you have two small children who are still in high school age or younger, and you may have your grandparent who may be 80 years old. Well, grandma, granddad is always trusted and dependable. They know something about the stock market. They know something about market volatility. They understand things, terms like compound interest, right? Residual income, right? Market growth. They understand those things. They know about that. They know about finances, but they may be too old. So now you may do that temporarily, but please go back and change that as soon as possible. Because, even with the given life expectancy, people are living longer now. People are healthier now. But, when you're thinking about who's going to finish raising your children, it's not always the oldest one that dies first. It's not always the sickest person that dies first. Because I've had 2 funerals that hit my family recently, and I mean it within the past 3 or 4 months, and nobody was even 50 years old. Neither one of these two were 50 years old. So What I'm saying is that people die of all ages, and at all stages in life. But think about that, who you choosing for your beneficiary when you pass away. Also, one of the alternatives that you could think about using is a revocable a trust. This is a revocable living trust. Get you a trust, and then you can set it up so that your children can be taken care of when you pass away. Okay? And you can't set that up in the insurance, because when you do insurance, they're going to pay a lump sum most likely. So if the death benefit is for $500,000, then it is true that they're going to write that check to your 13-year-old child or your 18-year-old child who cannot function with that money. So you need to have someone, a P.O.A. And what I mean by P.O.A. is a power of attorney. A power of attorney, a P.O.A. is a person that you have picked out ahead of time to speak on your behalf for times like this. So these are some things you need to think about. Also, whenever you do create your policy and you do pick your beneficiaries for your policy, make sure to let them know, first of all, that they are your beneficiary. Because if you try to keep it a secret and then you pass away, then they don't know what to do. And then you may not have the type of funeral, burial that you had hoped for, because they may have to go out and scrape up money and, to put you in the ground. So think about that. Let them know where the policy is at. In the event that I should pass away, you'll find my policy in this place, right? You may find my policy in that place, right? But make sure that you have a policy and that you have the beneficiary listed on the policy that you trust, and make sure that the person who is your beneficiary knows that you're a beneficiary. Because the person might be your beneficiary and you scared that they're going to do something to you, which is why you need to trust them. Because some folks, I can understand that people will do stuff to you. They will hurt you. They will get you, or they will unalive you just to get this money. So make no bones about that. There are people who do unethical things. People will do unethical things. So when you pick up that beneficiary, definitely make sure that you're picking someone that you trust, and that someone is not going to try to kill you to get money from you. Make sure that you are trusting these people and know who to trust. Okay? Know who to trust. Know who to trust. My wife and I have been watching these episodes of this show called, get it right, Prison, Love After Prison. And these people are falling in love with inmates. They go on some chat line app, and they meet these people, and then they trust these people. You have to be careful who you're letting into your house, let it into your life. I saw one guy was on there, he was with this woman, and she had three children. She got a small girl, it's a black lady, small little girl. She's probably about 4 years old, 3 or 4. And then she have a 13-year-old girl and a 15-year-old son. You have predators out here. You have people that will come in, guys, that will come in and guised as your lover and trying to get to your children. So you got to protect your babies. Don't let just anybody come into your house just because you like them, because they look good, or because they're having some type of relationship with you and you getting that out of it. Think about your babies. And there are people who will come in your house, realize that you have aging parents, get your parents, marry you, get your parents out of the equation. Come on now, I know I'm not the only one that have watched Lifetime. This stuff is real. This stuff you see it on television, no matter how bizarre it might sound and seem, this stuff is happening. And if it hasn't happened in real life, it happened in somebody's head because they wrote it. And anything that you thought, probably somebody else, you ain't the first one that thought of something. These things are happening. And my concern is these children, right? He marries her, get rid of her, he's the beneficiary, takes off all the money and run with it. Folks, you got to start waking up. You got to start thinking. Use your head for something besides a hat rack. You can hang a hat on the closet, on the hat rack. You don't use your head for a hat rack. Use your head to think. And some of us are getting into these positions that is hurting us. It's getting to situations that's hurting our parents. They come in, find out your parents got a lot of money. You the only child. They know who the beneficiary is. Mom ends up dead. And now this fool is in your house. Stop getting so caught up into people, into falling in love with the wrong people, that you allow yourself to end up dead or to create hurt, harm, and destruction in your family, all because you didn't stop to think. There's someone for everyone. And when you get to a place where you have to go to the prison or the homeless shelter to find somebody, you're pretty desperate. And I don't think that we have to be that bad off. There are billions of people on this planet. And you don't have to be stuck with no one joker, one fool, and not just the men, because some women are the same way. There's some treacherous people out there. And there are people that are scamming, that are scheming, and they are coming to get you in the name of love, in the name of Jesus, in the name of helping you. And everybody that's helping you ain't helping you. Don't be fooled. Know the difference. As my mom would say, if she was still living, she would say to me, and I'm saying this to you right now, I'm paying this forward. Don't be no clean fool. Have some sense. I'm going to repeat this again. Don't be no clean fool. Have some sense. Choose your beneficiaries wisely. Make sure that somebody is dependable. Make sure they're old enough. Make sure that you can trust them to do the right thing. And make sure that they have some knowledge about how to handle money. Money. Because a lot of people, you know, they get the lottery, because whenever someone dies and that beneficiary receives $100,000, it's like hitting the lottery. Did you know that statistically, more than half of the people that win the lottery or that has won the lottery, they lost that money within 1 to 2 years? My brother was telling me about someone recently that lost their money within 6 months. And they had, I don't want to quote this, but I think it was somewhere close to $1 million. In fact, he did say it was $1 million. $1 million. And in 4 months, they don't have it. They don't even own a home. Make sure that you choose your beneficiaries wisely. I hope this video has helped you in some way. If it has, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like and share my channel with somebody, because somebody needs to hear this. Meanwhile, take good care of yourself and each other, and I look forward to sharing on the next video.